got the dog joining us today. Let's see how long she lasts for. So this is Flooney. So today we are going to start on our knees. We're going to do some child's pose. We're going to come back to that pose. Towards the end of the practice, you will need a strap. So a yoga strap, if you've got one, or whatever, tied up your yoga mat. A tie or a scarf suffices. So if you need to pause the video to go and grab those, you only need one of them. You don't need all of them, okay? And then when you're ready, you're going to come onto your mats. We're going to go back into child's pose. So I'm guessing you are still going to need a towel or a blanket. So you roll it up like this and just place it there behind your thighs and your calves. It just enables you to really release into the pose. So with your knees wide or knees together, again, it's entirely up to you how you do this. And sliding the arms along the floor, bringing the forehead onto the floor if you can. If you can't, grab a block or a book and just rest with your forehead on the yoga block or the book or a DVD box set. Just take that away and just rest into child's pose. Reconnecting with your breath. So just placing your awareness on your breath. Following the breath all the way in and all the way out. Watching the ebb and flow of each breath with the rise and fall of your body. Gently coming up onto your knees. You might want to bring your knees a bit closer together. You might want to remove the blanket if you've been using that. And you're going to come down onto your forehead with your hips stacked above your knees. That might be a bit of a stretch, pardon the pun. So you're going to place a block or a book under your head. You may be absolutely fine on the floor. Melting heart. Opening up through the front of the body. Gentle back bend. Opening up through that lower back. Perhaps today you bend your arms and place your hands behind your head in prayer pose. Perhaps you leave the arms extended, always working within your limits and honouring your body. And then one last exhalation as we lower down. And maybe for this second child's pose, you take the blanket away and you can sit with your heels on your bottom, forehead on the floor. Perhaps you still need the support. Do whatever feels right for you to do, and then bringing the hands down by your hips. If you usually do child's pose with your knees wide and your chest between your knees, you might want to bring the knees together and just rest your chest on your knees so that your shoulders can really melt into the floor. And you really get a sense of stretching through the entirety of your spine. Child's pose really helps to open up all of this area here. Come back to the breath. Perhaps today is the day we're going to take a little downward dog, I think it is. We're going to place the hands on the floor ahead of us. Breathing in, coming up onto the knees, and breathe out. Curl the toes under, directing the hips up to the ceiling. Now, you may need your knees really bent to start with. Okay, we're going to gently ease each heel towards the floor as we start to activate through the glutes, the hamstrings and the calves. Keep breathing nice and smoothly. Lower both heels towards the floor. It took me a good few days to get the nerve to do a downward dog. So if you are joining me here in downward dog on day 4, congratulations, you're doing brilliantly. Please make sure you take some time, maybe even journal on the little shifts, or drop me a line, drop a comment on how you are noticing the difference each day. Gently coming down onto your knees as you breathe in. And if you can, cross the feet, and as you breathe out, just sit your bottom behind your feet, like that. And bring the soles of your feet together. I'm going to come and face you. So we're going to do Baddha Konasana, or shoemaker's pose, or butterfly pose, also sometimes known as. Just take a minute to massage the soles of your feet with your thumbs. You may notice a little bit of numbness or tingling from the sciatica down your leg, maybe even into your foot. So you can just massage into it. You know, you can even come all the way up the legs. And just give your legs a little massage as you just sit here in Baddha Konasana. And maybe that's enough to just sit like this. Perhaps you want to take your 2 peace fingers around the big toes, lifting up through the sternum. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, you're going to bend the elbows, come down with a flat back, and then ease into it, gently guiding your knees towards the floor, opening up through your inner thighs, your outer hips and your lower back. Really nice pose for relieving sciatica. I really felt the benefit of this pose when I started to slide it into the practices as I was recovering. Keep breathing nice and smoothly. Of course, you may not be able to get down this far. Perhaps you're just supporting, I should just say just, not just, you know what I mean. You're doing much more than that, but you're supporting your body and just allowing the knees to melt towards the side. So wherever you're at, some people are super hyper flexible and they're going to have their head down on the floor, and this isn't so much of a stretch for them. Each of you are individuals, yeah, and it's going to be different for each of you. So just meet me wherever you are, okay, not where I am. And then if you are a bit further down, you're going to roll yourself up and you're going to support your legs as you take the legs out to the side, okay. So you can see my foot just poking out from the scarf there, foot at 90 degrees. You may need a bend in your knees. If you're super tight in your hamstrings, you're going to need that bend. Equally, if you're hypermobile, and also just because that mobility is a little bit compromised, just do what you need to do. And this may be enough. Maybe you're supporting yourself and this is enough, okay? Hopefully you're going to return to this practice 2 or 3 times more today, in which case you may start with each practice to ease yourself a bit further forward. So you might start with the hands behind your back in the first practice and then gently easing yourself forward. I would encourage with each inhalation to lift up through the sternum, and with each exhalation to gently lower a bit further down. Perhaps you can come down onto the elbows. Perhaps even you're going to grab your block and rest your head on the block. I'm using the DVD box set, the block's not to hand. Perhaps you're nowhere near that and you're thinking you're having a laugh, aren't you? I get it. You know, I watched a few videos. I knew what I wanted to do, but I just wanted to make sure that other people that I respected were doing similar things, and they were, so I watched these videos. But some of them I watched and I thought, you either never had sciatica or you're clearly not struggling now, because you think, I can't even get anywhere near that. You meet it wherever you are, whether that's there or there, okay? Bring your legs together, extending the legs out in front. Actually, I'll go round onto the side. So we're going to go into our first Paschimottanasana of this practice. This might be enough, yeah? You might want to slide that rolled up blanket underneath your bottom. That might help, yeah? Just give you a bit more space. Just do whatever feels right for you. Whether you're sitting on a blanket or whether you're sitting on the floor, gently ease your flesh out from underneath your sitting bones. That's going to give you a bit more mobility. Take hold of your strap or your scarf or your tie. Wrap it around the soles of your feet. If you don't have any of those, you can roll up a towel and use the towel. And then you're just going to lift up through the sternum as you breathe in and pivot at the hips as you breathe out. Now, that may be it for today. You may, with each exhalation, notice that you get a little bit closer. I didn't get anywhere near this the first few times I did Paschimottanasana after knocking my back out. So be kind to yourself. Meet yourself wherever you are. I know I've said that every single day, but it's all about honouring your body and allowing your body to gently ease into these poses until you start to feel that your mobility is getting back to normal. So it's taking it really gently, really steadily. Paschimottanasana is a great one for opening up through the hamstrings, also is opening up through the lower back, and any forward fold deeply cooling and calming for the mind. Okay? If you haven't got a strap, you can just take hold of the feet or the legs, wherever you're at. It might even be the knees that you get to, and that's where you're at, okay? And then we're going to bend the knees, shifting the bottom up towards the feet and coming to rest on our back. And you'll need your block or your book or your DVD box set, and you're going to gently, remember, gingerly and steadily and carefully and kindly allow yourself to move onto your back. You're going to have your book or your block maybe on its flattest level or the medium one, okay? And as you breathe in, you're going to slide that block underneath the base of your spine and gently rest your hips on it and just relax into that space, opening up through the front of your body, opening up through the lower back in supported bridge. Perhaps you don't have a block or a book to hand, in which case roll up a towel or roll up a blanket and place it underneath your hips. That was enough for me. I was on a holiday, I didn't even have a block. So I just rolled up a towel and slid it under the base of my spine and just melted into it. When we're in pain, we tend to kind of clamp down on it, and all of these poses are inviting us to open up, create space. Once we start to create the space, we can create the space for the movement and allow that sciatic nerve to be released from that clenched muscle. Keep breathing nice and smoothly. And then gently sliding the block out from underneath your bottom and hug your knees into your chest. Gently stretching through the lower back, counterposing. You might not get your knees as close to your chest as this. They might be here, wherever you're at. Just meet yourself in the pose. And then placing both feet on the floor. So taking hold of your strap, you're going to wrap the strap around the ball of your right leg. And then you're going to gently extend that leg towards the ceiling, and that may be as far as you can go, okay? If that is as far as you can go, but you notice you can straighten your leg more if you extend the foot further away from you, allow the foot to extend away from you. Remember, this is probably the third day that we've done this pose, and up until now we've just been gently bending and straightening the leg. If that's all you can do, you go back to supporting the leg and gently straightening and bending it. However, if you are ready, we're going to come into Supta Padangusthasana, reclining leg stretch. Keep breathing nice and smoothly. And then releasing the foot to the floor. Wrapping the strap around the ball of the other leg, unless you are just going to simply raise the leg up and down. If you're ready to embrace Supta Padangusthasana, extending the leg, and it may be that you're extending the leg here, but that's where you don't get a bend, okay? If you start to get a really big bend, you've probably gone a bit too far. Why don't you just try easing off, yeah? But we are aiming to see where we can go without pushing it too far. Keep breathing nice and smoothly. Reclining leg stretch. And then place that foot on the floor and gently slide your feet onto the mat, coming into Shavasana, hands either side of the hips. Close down your eyes and allow your breathing to return to normal. Relax your feet and your ankles. Relax your shins and your calves. Relax your knees and the backs of your knees. Relax your thighs and your hamstrings. Relax your hips, pelvis and buttocks. Relax your tummy and your lower back. Relax your ribs and your torso. Relax your chest and your upper back. Relax your shoulders, arms and hands. Relax your throat and neck. Relax your mouth, tongue and jaw. Relax the space between your eyes and around your eyes. Relax your forehead and the crown of your head. Rest here in stillness and in silence as you allow your body to absorb the benefits of your practice. Trust the process and trust that this practice is creating space for healing, inviting in your innate ability to heal yourself. Rest in that golden blue healing energy, if that feels comfortable for you to do so. As you bathe in that beautiful blue light that surrounds you. Blue light is a healing energy, helping to dissolve dis-ease, discomfort, tension and tightness and inflammation. If it feels right for you to do so, allow this healing energy to melt into the area of your body where you're feeling the most discomfort from this sciatica. Allowing this healing energy to dissolve it. And allow that energy to melt into your body. Bring your awareness to your hands, and before you wiggle your hands, imagine you're doing so. And then wriggling your fingers, notice the sensations you feel in your hands. Bring your awareness to your feet, and before you wiggle your toes, imagine you're doing so. Now wriggling your toes, notice the sensations you feel in your feet. Stretching your arms along the floor, taking your hands in the opposite direction to your toes. And when you're ready, bending your knees and gently rolling over onto your right hand side. Taking a couple of breaths of transition. Of course, if it's not comfortable to be on your right hand side, choose the other side. And then using your hands to guide you, keeping your eyes closed, head hung low. Transition to a comfortable seated position. Even if you're still struggling and coming up onto all fours, to ease yourself off the floor rather than coming up like that. Notice each day is going to get easier. Thank you for joining me. I really hope you're beginning to see the benefits of your diligent practice every day. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, and we'll take it up just another little notch. Be grateful for this time that we spent together and taking the opportunity to heal yourself from within. Namaste.